Right guys, so I've been doing a bit of work on the 226 and as you can see I have mirror polished the frame, which actually took a lot longer than I expected. I've done lots of frames before, but this was a bit more work than I expected actually. The casting marks, you can still kind of see them a little bit, so it's kind of matte. Annoyingly I forgot one part, which is this bit back here, which bit frustrating, but I'll do that another time. So the piston's all together now. I have a spring which is holding this in place now. I didn't order it, I actually just made it. I had a look online at what it looks like and it was just pretty easy, so just got another spring and bent it into shape. So this would be ideally the finished article. However, we still have issues. Now, last video, I was saying to you about the magazine was really tight fitting, and that's coming in and out fairly easily now. It's still not amazing, but it's better. Now we have a new issue. So, first of all, I'm just going to pull the trigger gradually here, and you can see the slide has locked back. Now, this is running on green gas. Now, I had to do another modification. If you remember before, the nozzle was getting stuck forwards. And the reason for that is the piston head was one of these cup types, which I actually do like, and normally pretty good. But for whatever reason, it was getting caught on the edge of the nozzle and it was just jamming in place. So we've gone over to an O-ring type. I'll show you a picture of that in a moment. So I've changed over to that and that's working flawlessly now, working great. The problem we now have is if I drop the slide forwards and I keep the trigger back like this, I go to release the trigger, you can see there, the trigger is stuck back. I have to manually push it forwards. Do it again for you so you can see. Hold that down. And you can see I've got to pull that forwards. Now, it doesn't do it when the magazine's in. So I'm going to pull the trigger. You can see it resets perfect. Only does it. So for example, that works fine there. If I insert the magazine, it gets stuck. So what's happening then? Well, quite clearly the trigger bar is obviously misaligned, or there's something which is causing a problem. That's basically, as soon as the magazine's inserted, it's pushing against it and it's causing a jam. So unfortunately, once again, these are the trials and tribulations you have of doing these metal kits. They don't just work and go together fine. So I've built the whole thing up, really happy with it, and now I'm going to have to take it all apart again and figure out what's going on with that trigger bar. So I'm not going to bother filming it because you've seen me taking this apart already, and I've had it apart about 6 or 7 times now. So I'm just going to strip it apart, try and figure out the problem, fix it, and then I'll get back to you once I have it sussed. Right guys, fixed. So what the problem was that the trigger bar, there was a part of the frame which hopefully you'll be able to see if I can point at it. You can see that the trigger bar here moves up and down in this slot, and there's a little stop just there. See a little step in the frame there? So there was a burr on that was just getting it jammed. As soon as you put the magazine in, it just jammed the trigger bar against the frame and it just got stuck. Also, that was then causing this bit of wear here. You can see this line across here. Now this trigger bar is steel. The Garda one I do have, and I did contemplate fitting the Garda one in case there was a clearance issue here. Since fixing that doesn't seem to be any of a problem anymore. So I think we're going to be fine. We also don't have any marks on the inside of the slide to show that there's a problem. I've had one little problem, which has been my nice fake firing pin panel here at the back. One of the screws has stripped, and I now can't do anything with it. It's stuck in place. So hopefully I don't have to take this out anytime soon. So anyway, let's just put the grip back on so you can see it all together now. I must say, I'm not a big fan of these grips. They do go together okay, but they don't fit great. You can see there's a bit of a gap up here, which is annoying. I might have to heat them up and try to get them in shape. The bottom bit here pokes out a little bit as well, which I'm not a big fan of. It's a bit tight at the back. Now, that could be because they seem to fit fine on the plastic frame. However, these are Garda upgrades, so you would think that the Garda part would fit the Garda frame. However, you'd be wrong. So let's put the slide on. And we'll rotate that round. There we go, magazine in. So this is on green gas. I've just filled the mag with green gas. You can see there are a few marks on it, just where I've been guiding the mag in and out. It's a lot better than it was. I had to do quite a bit of filing on the inside here to try and smooth that out to make it go in and out okay. But it now goes in and comes out no problem, which is good. So on green gas, you can see locks back perfectly here. Now, part of the reason why we're getting locked back and it's working okay is I've tried to retain as much TM as possible. So to go over the bits I have changed for Garda, we've got a Garda slide, which had a Garda blowback unit, but that was necessary because of the extra lugs on the side to hold the blowback unit in. Garda outer barrel, Garda recoil guide rod, Garda frame, Garda takedown lever, everything else TM. Garda grips, obviously. I think that's basically it. Everything else is just standard TM. So hammer unit's TM, trigger unit is TM. So I've tried to keep as much TM stuff as I possibly can. And when you do these kits, it's very easy to go buying bits thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to upgrade it to full Garda. But honestly, you want to try to keep it as is if possible. As much standard TM as possible. Now, I have upgraded the recoil spring and it's much more snappy. However, I would quite like it a bit more than that. So I am going to do something about that at some point. But for now, I'm quite happy with that. And we can see, obviously, we've got the polished frame. The frame could probably do with another going over at some point, but for now, I'm quite happy with it. That'll be fine for the moment. I might order a black frame. I'd quite like to go for the non-railed type. And that was actually what I wanted to do, which is why I ordered the old style marking slide. However, I just couldn't get one. They've been out of stock for ages. So if they get back in stock and they've got a black version without the rail, I might go for that one. But yeah, overall, we've obviously got all the Sig Sauer markings here. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it. So again, running. Still locking back, no problem. Decocker still works, as it should. There we go, guys. She's complete. So hopefully you enjoyed this series. We've got a few more on the way. I've got a couple of pistols that are sitting waiting for parts at the moment. I haven't brought out on the channel just yet. I will be bringing them out on the channel soon. One of them you've already seen. I'm still waiting for a couple of parts on that. Obviously all this stuff costs money, so I can't just afford to spend thousands on these bits. It's just as and when. So I'm just trying to build up a few that are waiting in the meantime. And I'll do a few beauty shots to show at the end of this what it looks like, all polished up and nice and ready to go. If you have any questions about what we've done here, fire away. Any problems at all, anything you want to ask away. If you have any questions about the build or the parts I used, maybe you guys want to see a full list of all the parts I used here. But this shows in depth everything I've done with it. I've talked you through any of the fixes I've had to do. So yeah, as you've seen, these metal sort of kits are not super easy. They take time. You've got to be happy with, fiddling around with it for a little while, working through problems. If you think you're going to buy one of these kits and just throw it all on in an afternoon, I'm afraid that's not going to be the case. So there we go, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Any questions, fire away in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, guys, so I thought we'd do a gas efficiency test on the SIG. Now, there's been a couple of changes, which I can't remember if I've actually showed you what the difference has been. I have just dulled the frame down a little bit here, just using a little bit of Scotch-Brite. I didn't really like the mirror finish. It didn't come up very nicely, so I've just dulled that down slightly, so it's not as shiny. Internally, I have done a slight modification, which is I've changed the piston head from the stock TM1 to an O-ring type. Other than that, I have fitted a different recoil spring. This one, I believe, is a 1911 or high capper spring. I think I've cut it down a little bit as well, so I'm not 100% sure. But that just gives me a little bit more cycling speed because it is a heavy slide. So let's lock that in place. Okay, so we're going to do a gas efficiency test here. Now, I have just gassed this magazine up with good old WE green gas. I'm just going to top it off, make sure that it is definitely full. Yeah, we can see that's just coming out the valve now. So this is just on green gas, nothing else. The mag is room temperature. I haven't shot anything through it, and I shan't be shooting anything through it. I'm just dry firing just to see how many shots we get and when we finally get a gas out. Now, again, bear in mind that I've tried to keep as much stock TM as possible in this, so it should be a standard efficient TM. However, obviously, being that it is a steel slide, that will hurt efficiency slightly. Okay, so we're ready to go. I'm going to hold the slide release down, and I'll release it every sort of 10 or 20 shots so that we can count up whereabouts we're at. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we've got 20 shots there and a lock back, nice and firm. Let's just fill the mag. No, mag still feels pretty good. Okay, so let's go for another 10. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And a lock back. Mag is starting to feel quite cold now. Well, chilled. Just going to give it a moment to sort of warm up a little bit. Okay. So 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. So we're on 40 now. I can feel there's some cold coming through on the frame here, so the mag is definitely chilling down. It is now, I can really feel that. We'll give it a moment just to sort of settle. Again, this is an unrealistic test because you wouldn't be firing 40 rounds out of this. I think these are 28. So at the end of the day, you would get 28 on the lock back, no problem at all. And I'm not shooting very, very slowly here. Okay. So I've forgotten where I was at now. I think I was at 40. So just give this a moment to warm slightly. Okay, let's put it back in and get some more. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. Oh, we haven't quite got 50 lock back there. Let's just drop the mag, give it a bit of a warm. Let's see if we can get a lock back at 50. Just warm it slightly. There we go, 50. Okay, so that's actually 51. Let's just let the mag recover for a minute and then we'll put the mag back in. I reckon we could get 60 out of this with a lock back, I think. I think that's achievable. So fingers crossed we'll be able to get that out of it. So just let it recover a little bit. It's worth bearing in mind that these SIG mags are actually not that big. You know, it's not a particularly large magazine, that. If we compare that to something else like a Glock magazine, let me grab one to show you. You know, the Glock mag is quite a bit thicker, a bit wider as well. So, yeah, I guess you could say it's similar, but it's definitely, if we look at it side by side there, you can see definitely thicker than the SIG mag. So with that in mind, you've got to bear in mind that, you know, it doesn't have as much gas capacity in there. Remember, the difference with the E2 as well is it doesn't have that separate piece at the bottom like the rail did. That gives you more gas capacity. So that's recovered now. Let's see if we can get another 10. So we're at 51 now. So 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. It's not going to do it. 59, and we're out. So you can safely say that we got easily 40, 45 and a lock back there. No problem. I would say you would be able to easily empty a magazine in quick succession and still get a lock back, and that is with the steel slide. So again, you know, yes, that is considerably less than what you would get with a TM stock. I should have really tested it beforehand, but I didn't. But, you know, you can't expect miracles. It is the same system and you've just thrown a lot of extra weight on it. So with an alley slide, I'm sure it'd be very similar to the plastic slide. You know, you would probably get at least 60 in the lock back there, no problem at all. But still, locking back at 45, 50 is impressive, I think, for the system. So there we go.